All right. Good evening. We are live here doing day 2 of the intuition activation series. And so far, I've been absolutely loving everyone's response so far that has gone through day 1 and just noticing their belief systems and their reframes and the things that they're really working through in such a powerful way. We have so many beliefs out there. And once we start to shift those, we start opening up more of that possibility to actually use more of our intuition, more of our magic, and in a logical processing type of way. So there's many day-to-day things that we can use intuition for. It can help you, with sleep. It can help you make decisions. It can help you trust yourself and trust your environment and be in more of a neutral as well as safe place to help you feel connected. There's just so many reasons why our intuition, it's hardwired into us in such a positive way. And that's why I love it. I love this work. Is I've gone through all ends of the spectrum with intuition. And not that I'm perfect by any means when it comes to intuition. I have come a long way and I'm proud of myself for where I am with the things that I do with intuition. I just think it's mind blowing and such a great skill to have, which is why I'm so passionate in doing this now. So now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into day 2 because today is where we get to have so much more fun. Okay. So I'm going to go into some things that I actually teach my Reiki students and some of my other clients as well. So I help get them into this place, okay? So alpha state is the first thing we're going to learn about. So we talked a bit about beta brainwave state, and the beta brainwave state is kind of like being the roadrunner in an aspect of going really quick from A to B to C, making all these quick decisions and getting on with life and finding that path. However, when we're in alpha state, it's where we're more neutral, more observant. It slows our thinking. It gives us more clarity, the ability to be observant in our life rather than reactionary and neutral. So when you think of it from that perspective, if you've ever felt like your vision is clouded, or if you feel confused a lot of the time, chances are you're in beta brainwave state and you're overthinking, overanalyzing, and this will help you get into a place where all of that seems to settle. And it's interesting that when we're in that settled place, we're able to actually make better choices for long-term results. Higher creativity comes through here, as well as connection to our intuition and to all, and to be able to use more of your intuition, as well as memory recall. So a lot of people that have issues with their memory, it could just be as simple as they're too much in their beta brain and not enough in their alpha. And also some things I've noticed with alpha state, it can feel as if time slows right down. And this can be also very similar to when you're in a daydreaming state, or if you're doing aerobic exercise. It's also easier to focus on breathing deep in this state. When you're in beta, chances are you're breathing very shallow and into the chest. So when you start doing deeper abdominal breathing, the natural byproduct of that over time is actually getting into alpha. We're generally a lot more clear in the state as well. So if you constantly feel like you're clouded and you don't have any answers, you're confused, you can't make a choice, it's probably because you're in beta. So listening to an alpha state meditation, binaural beats on YouTube as well, some people love those, or even a solfeggio frequency can help. And when I talk about solfeggio frequencies, literally all of them can help. 741 is my go-to for opening intuition, but I also love 528 because it expands your heart field. So you can listen to both of them. And I'm pretty sure there is a mixture of the two as well that you can find online. You can find all these on YouTube. Like, it's really easy to just search it up and find which one resonates with you. And then typically I would look for binaural beats that stimulate the endorphins in our body as well, because that helps relax us. And the endorphins are just those happy feelings that circulate in the brain. It's one of those neurotransmitters that we have. Okay, so before we go into the trust switch activation, I really do want to play the alpha state music for you, just so you can hear it. I'm going to have it going as we do the trust switch activation as well. So I hope you guys are making some notes if this is not information that you've heard before. So I'll just leave the alpha state up there so you can either take a screenshot or whichever you need to, but I'll leave that up here for a couple minutes, and then I'll put on the alpha state meditation for you guys. Okay. I'll make sure it's music you can hear, and no, I do not own any rights to this music. So I'm just going to take a moment with this music because it just feels so good. And when you hear it, just start taking some nice deep breaths into the abdomen. Let it relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Notice where you're holding your tongue. Is it behind your teeth all the time, just pressing strong on that? Relax your tongue, relax your jaw, relax the shoulders, relax your glutes. You may not realize how often you're actually holding your glutes. Relax the hips, just shake these out. You can even do some really nice shoulder rolls here as well as you listen. Put your hand over your heart if you need to. And just focus on the music while breathing. Okay, so now I'm going to guide you through a process. And to those who may not think they have very good tuned in intuition, well, now that we're working our way into alpha state by breathing and relaxing and listening to these frequencies, I'm going to guide you into using your intuition. And you tell me how effectively this works for you over time. Okay. So again, taking in some nice deep breaths. Focus on releasing those thoughts in the mind, opening up the heart, just like your heart is a doorway, like beautiful French doors opening up to all the nourishment and love that's here. Knowing that you're safe and strong within your heart field. Your heart field is protective. It's also respectful, with boundaries and love in all forms. Hey, Jenna. So dropping right down into the heart. Focus on the color of your heart. And if it's a muddled color that has a lot of darkness in it, just invite the vibrant version of that color. So if you see the color of the heart chakra and it's green, then invite that vibrant, shimmering green. Blasting out like a shockwave. And in your heart, you want to trust yourself. You want to trust your body, mind, and soul. So what you're going to think about or feel and visualize, whichever your dominant sense is, sense. It may be something that you taste or smell or also hear. You might hear a frequency, you might hear a switch turn on. However this works for you and makes the most sense, going to, in your mind, create like a little switch, like a light switch, if that's the easiest version for you. To me, this is the easiest visualization. So in your heart, visualize that light switch. And when it's on, that means your trust in your heart and in your love and in your respect and boundaries and protection is on. And anytime you drop into the heart, if you notice it's off, just switch it back on anytime. Notice how you feel when you turn on that switch. You can also create the switch to look however you like, as unique as you want it to. It can be your normal old light switch, or it could be in the shape of a heart or a diamond. It could literally be anything here. Once you feel comfortable with the switch, you're going to move up, up, up. You're going to go in between your eyebrows, and you're going to go into the brain and more midbrain until you see a little pine cone shape. And this gland is called your pituitary. And you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to breathe into your pituitary. You're going to notice how your pituitary looks or feels. And just check it on the color. Normally it's more of an indigo color here, so if it needs to be more vibrant, then invite that vibrancy in. Allow that glow of the pituitary to really start to pulsate and vibrate out, cleansing the pituitary. Also knowing that your pituitary is your feminine energy. It's insight, it's intuition, it's creativity and harmony. Invite those feelings and levels of consciousness to open. And as you do, we're going to create a trust switch here as well. So not only are you going to trust your heart, you're going to trust your intuition. So install your light switch here in whatever shape, in whatever color. If you want to give it glitter, go for it. If you want it to look vintage, the sky is the limit here. But make sure that once it's installed, make sure that you can flick it on. And sometimes when you flick it on, you might also notice a light go on in your mind or in your heart. So turn it on and notice how you feel, how your body feels, how your mind feels. And now I just want you to make sure that the heart trust switch is still on. So just in your mind's eye or with your hands, just feel and make sure that it's there. And if it's a frequency you hear, check in and see if it's turned on in the heart and in the pituitary. And here's a good time as well in the future when you are doing this to check your intuitive belief system reframe. Once you have all your trust switches on, go into what you've done with your reframes and say them out loud here and now. I'll say some of the reframes that I have that we were talking about yesterday. Everyone is gifted in their unique way. Therefore, I am gifted in my own unique way. I am learning to listen to the whispers of my intuition more every day. I am learning to go deeper with my intuition every day. My intuition allows me to make aligned choices for myself. My intuition comes from my higher self. I feel or I see the big picture more every day. And anywhere that you're feeling tension or resistance in the body, I want you just to invite the breath here. Okay. So this is the trust switch. I do invite you to check in with this at least once every single day from here on out. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to go in once you've installed that trust switch to just check it and see where it's sitting. And if it's on or off, and it's just easy to flick that switch. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated, guys. This can be very, very simple, yet extremely effective. We all have capabilities beyond what we've ever thought we could, beyond what we're led to believe or conditioned to believe. We can use a lot more than that 8 to 10% of our mind. We are unlimited consciousness. So now we're going to go into an 8th ray activation. So the sacred rays, there's 18 of them. Most only talk about the 12 sacred rays, and that's fine. But the list and the ones I resonate the most with are the 18 sacred rays, mostly because the last 6 are very galactic. And as you guys all know and can tell with my background, this is me. And I love that perspective. So the 8th ray are oversighted by the Pleiadian emissaries, sorry, I can't talk today, of light. It's the color seafoam green and violet. And I will also show you the sacred geometry structure that is associated with the 8th ray as well. So when we do this meditation, I'll have that on the screen so you can see the sacred geometry structure and what we're actually doing. The chakra center that this is associated with is the solar plexus. So, just on a very high level, the solar plexus is all around our personal power. It's around assimilation of experiences and ideas. It's around how we deal with our anger, how we connect with our purpose in life. It's also around our passions. So, a lot of deep connecting points here. So, this ray that we're going to be going into is primarily about the deeper expression of your service work and perhaps letting go of old ties that no longer support you. This may initially feel like your support structure might fall away, but if it does, it's only so that a new structure can be brought into manifestation. So think of this like, say you've had a support structure that isn't actually supportive. And little by little, that support structure becomes old, decrepit house that's falling apart and you can't renovate. So what you would do here is just clear that land and bring in the support structure that is able and capable of holding and bearing the energy. This ray also assists in cleansing and clearing at a cellular level of old false beliefs and judgments. Who here judges themselves? I know we all do at some level. There's some judgment that comes through every day because we're human, but we also need to start catching our judgments as well as false beliefs around ourselves. And this is very similar to the seventh ray, which allows for deep emotional healing from cosmic wounds. So I know some of you out there have heard of Atlantis, who also very much resonate with Egypt and the ancient lands there, as well as the information. So any karmic history that we may carry on a cellular level and a soul level will help the transmutation process. Because we've all had karmic ties where we've either been the victim, the observer, or the perpetrator. So it's not about good versus evil. It's about transmutation of emotional charges so that we can live a more neutral, more elated life. Transmutation, as I've noticed, at least since 2012, has light yeared leaped into something that is way different now. So, for example, back in 2012, when I first started really diving into this work, I remember just the level of classes back then. People were having a hard time learning energy work and understanding and trusting the intuition. In classes I've been in recently, it's like everyone can do it in their sleep, so to speak. Even people that say, I can't do it, are like blowing themselves out of the water here. And it's all about that internal trust. So at this transmutation that's occurring rapidly for so many on this planet right now, surrounding yourself with this luminescent seafoam green and violet will assist in recalibrating your energy bodies and bringing in a renewed sense of balance as well as equilibrium. This ray further assists you in building your etheric electronic body of light and is related to the sacred geometry of the octahedron. So some of you may not know what that shape is. Until I started really researching more geometry and the sacred geometry and the sacred rays, I'm like, oh, okay, so I now have my own images for them that I focus on anytime I do these meditations, just to have it handy and to further assist my focus. So you can visualize yourself stepping into the 3 superimposed seafoam green and violet octahedrons. So we're going to do that now. So I'm just going to change the music that I'm playing, because even though it's alpha state, I also want to play some solfeggio tunes. so you can hear those. I'm just going to see which one is the most appropriate right now. Okay, so we're going to do 741 to help with the intuition side. And I love this one. It's one of my favorites. I'll also post these ones that I'm using in the units tab later today as well, or in the comments and links. So there'll be that there for you. So you can use these further beyond watching this, okay? So I'm going to invite you to start relaxing, just like how we were with the breath before. So starting to breathe in nice and slow through the nose, bringing all of that breath down into the abdomen. And when you exhale, pushing everything out of the abdomen. Making sure your feet are firmly on the ground, hands are placed in your lap if that's comfortable. And taking in that breath for the count of 4, and then breathing out for the count of 4. I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. And now I'm going to get you to visualize or feel that sea foam green and violet going around you in your auric field, 6 feet in front of you, into your body. Breathe it into the pituitary gland. And breathing out everything that you don't need, like old beliefs, old conditioning, things that told you you weren't intuitive, that you couldn't do it. Maybe someone thought it was crazy or not real. Breathe it all out. You're going to breathe the sea foam green and violet into your heart. And allow it to fill your body. And now that we've opened up the 8th sacred ray, I'm going to call in the Pleiadian emissaries of light to come support and to guide. And if you're open to receiving their love, just know that they're benevolent and safe. But if it doesn't feel right, then you do not need to give them permission. They won't take it personally, believe me. So take in a nice deep breath and breathe out. I ask that the Pleiadian emissaries of light come through to assist our journey today and our healing. Those that wish to receive the love from the Pleiadians may say, yes, I give permission for their support. Those who don't, you can say, I don't give permission. That's okay. When the Pleiadians come through like they are right now, you may feel a tingling, a warmth, a lightness. But most of all, you'll begin to feel that unconditional love in your heart. And you'll get these warm, possible goosebumps that start in your nose and go all the way down into your body. Feeling the warmth of their love, like a warm blanket that feels like such a soothing hug from a long lost friend or relative. and it feels familiar. Thank you to the Pleiadians for coming to assist us today. And on the screen right here, there's the octahedron. And you may notice that when you visualize this in front of you, you may notice the Pleiadians standing around the octahedron, shining their light, inviting you to step into your own octahedron healing. This is your octahedron cube that you can use anytime. You can just walk right in and notice the violet, the seafoam green, how they work together. And as you step into this chamber, notice where you feel the warmth in your body. If there's an area that's been sore or tight, then just ask for this ray to help assist in healing and working through the body aches and pains. You can even use this to address your emotional pain. And you might notice after you step inside, it's become bright in the octahedron with that pulsating violet and seafoam green swirling around you like a beautiful mist. Breathing into your 7th and 8th chakra, and then going into your 6th chakra, going down into the crown and the brow, connecting your divine feminine and masculine, bringing a sense of well-being and harmony, clarity and connection to higher self, and a deep inner knowing of who you are. Allow the octahedron to get brighter and brighter as it assists in cleansing your body, mind, and spirit, strengthening all your energy fields. All 12 chakras, all meridians, all of the auric field. Allow it to go wherever it needs to in the body. Feeling the pulsating love, the cleansing capabilities. And if you see certain symbols come up, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. Allow this to go down into the throat and then into the heart, connecting into your solar plexus, your sacral and your root. If there was one thing that you could shift today, bring that into the octahedron. Ask your healing temple to help you clear that one big piece for you. And as you bring this up, look into your pituitary and your heart. Is your trust switch on? If it's not, turn it on right now. And as you start to clear this big piece that you've been holding on to and know you're ready of letting go of, ask yourself, what is one small action daily that I can do to help keep this moving forward? It might be going out for a walk. It might be sun gazing, connecting your feet into the earth, going for a swim, doing some journaling. And keep that in your mind. And if you need to write it down now, then please do. And if you've given the Pleiadians permission, then ask them, do they have a message for you? And then thank the Pleiadians for coming to assist and support. Thank you for their message. Even if all you got from them was just a feeling. And if you knew something was there, but you're not sure of what it was, then it will come through at another point for you. That information is there and it will flourish as it needs. All my gratitude in my heart, thank you to the Pleiadian emissaries of light. And when you feel complete, you can step out of your Octahedron healing vessel and just know that it's here for you anytime that you need to use it. If there's something you need to heal, something you need to work with, that is your personal healing chamber. Now, before we close, I want you to visualize your feet in the grass or in the sand, feeling the warmth beneath your feet. And wiggle your toes and how good that feels to connect with the soil, the grass, or the sand. Visualizing an energy light coming from your feet and down into the ground. activating your 10th chakra just below the surface of the ground, and going down further, further, further until you reach the center of the earth. Once you do, you might see a flash of light once you've reached it. And when you've reached it, breathe in that vital earth energy. Mother Gaia, breathe in her nourishment, her tender lovingness, her gentleness and stillness, her presence and peace. Grounding all of which you've learned today and all of what you've done, feeling secure on this planet and stronger in your knowing. You are meant to be here. In gratitude to Mother Gaia, to the Pleiadians, and also give deep gratitude for yourself for opening up to this container, for stepping into your work and going deep into your self-trust, working with your own healing, moving through any barriers that you have felt, and even just look back the past couple of years and how far you've come and celebrate that. Have you ever taken the time to stop and celebrate your achievements, no matter how big or small? Feel your heart. Give yourself gratitude for being here. And when you feel ready, you can return into this space. So great to have you back into the space after that meditation. And now the action step here is going to be focused on activating your trust switch at least once per day. And the ones who did do that meditation, the additional action step here is to follow through on what one action you can take daily to continue releasing and healing that one piece that was brought into your octahedron. Keep track of how you're feeling every day. Make a small note every day. Start your day with breathing in and trusting yourself and turning on your trust switch in your heart and in your pituitary. Thank you so much for joining in day 2 of this activation series. And please let me know how this went for you and what your biggest takeaways were, and if you also have questions for me. So grateful for all of you and sharing this container with you. And I will see you tomorrow for our last and final day. Ready for the holidays and preparing us for a new year and getting clear on who we are and deeper levels of trust. So much gratitude, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.